Hey there, Wargamers, Justin Iron Paint here, and today we're going to talk about, boom, the Vulture. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in again and letting me ramble about Battletech. And today we're going to be showcasing the one of the metal variants for the Mad Dog / Vulture versus the new plastic one. Before we get started, if you enjoy these paint schemes, as always, these were painted with primarily the Pro Acro line from Monument Hobbies. And if you're looking for anything and everything Battletech, check out Fortress Miniatures and Games, our sponsor for the channel here. And if you want to help support me in another way, check out Death Ray Designs. That's my day job. Got a link for all of that down below. That being said, let's zoom in and get started. We're going to do a quick showcase of the metal one, and we'll start talking about things I like, don't like, and otherwise. So as we get started here, this is an old model on an old metal base. This one was given to me by Marcus Glauzak. I mess his name up all the time. Sabat TC from Twitch sent me a care package way before the plastics came out. Might have been around the time of Gamer Armor Combat, I'm not sure, but to get me going. And this was one of his old Mad Dogs, and I built it and painted it up and got them going. When I initially got it, it had a coat of flat green on it and was chipped up pretty bad. There's some fragilities here on this model, though, at the elbow joints. The metal one is very fragile, and the barrel tips like to bend. It does hold true to some of the old TRO artwork, and it's got a lot of similarities with where things are lined up on the plastic one, but it's very different. It's got similar, if not exact, legs to the Mad Cat. I actually think those might be identical. If not, they are super close, but I think they're identical. It looks like the hip might be a little different on it. That, or I have... this was built when I got it, so either I think the hip's the same. Either the Mad Cat's wrong and it's supposed to have the this part forward, or the Mad Dog's wrong and that's supposed to be backward. But whatever, it's built and painted now, and that's the way it's going to stay. So I like where the cockpit's at. You get some nice jeweling effects you can do on here. It's pretty cool. But the main issue I have with it's a little fragile. Some of these old metal mechs are also hard to get posed on bases very well, but this one we got lined up. I actually think he might have actually been epoxy to this base when I got it. I can't remember. This was kind of a rescue model. The rocket tips aren't quite as pronounced as the plastic stuff is, so that's a thing. But I still like it. It's one of my favorite mechs. It's actually the one that I requested to be piloting with my canon character from the Kickstarter. Because I mean, I like a variety of clan mechs. This is in my top 4. They're all kind of tied. I like the Thor, the Hellbringer, the Mad Dog, and the Timberwolf. That's my 4 favorite clan mechs. I have a variety of other mechs I like, and a bunch of Intersphere mechs I like too. But I really like this one because I feel like its playstyle, at least in MWO, matches how I like to play. And for me, ideally having my canon character being a leader of a merc company, something that leads kind of from the midfield, not from necessarily the rear, but not the front, because you can't lead if you're dead. Having a mech that can command and issue orders and also rain down from a midfield makes sense. Also in the midfield, you're not completely outside of danger, but if you start taking fire, you've got your other buddies in the front to collapse in on the target and protect you. So it seems like a pretty cool place for the leader to be functioning. Not at the back, not at the front. So he's not cowering, he's not dying first, but he gets to issue orders and lob ATMs or LRMs and stuff. So that was my idea. I really like this mech. It's got a nice like 80s or early 90s vibe to it, but I love the new plastic one too. And there are a lot of differences. So we have weapons in a similar configuration, 2 barrels on each side. These are a little longer and thinner. These are shorter and fatter. The rocket housing is much thicker, and this one's got actual like holes instead of rocket tips, so a little different. The canopies are very similar and in a very similar place, but the torso is a little wider on this one, so it mirrors, I think, the MWO variant a lot more closely. The side details up by the arms are more encrusted. I really like that. The legs, much like the metal Mad Cat, are identical to the plastic Mad Cat as well, even if they're slightly differently posed. So that still holds true. Got the top plates that are similar. And the rear on this one just looks a hell of a lot better too. It's a little bit more girthy, a little bit more menacing, but it still has a lot of the traits that I think lean back on the original artwork just being updated for, you know, 2020 basically. I'm sure this was designed way before 2020, but you know what I mean, like for the modern times. This one's still got a nice nostalgia vibe for me and some cool backstory because of who I got it from, but I'm happy to have multiples of this one as well. I've also got, I think it's the Mad Dog 2 or Vulture 2. The one that's kind of like in the Dark Age era. I've got one of those just not painted up as well, but showing it as a comparison doesn't really make sense because it's not the same. It's a newer variant. But yeah, I really like that. It looks super cool. I can't wait to get this one finished and on the tabletop, and to actually be able to play with my my Beta Galaxy Clan Wolf stuff. So what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Are you an old guard, old veteran who's got a bunch of these old school mechs laying around and you just won't change? Or do you like them and you paint new ones to face off against them or to bring in fresh blood to fight alongside them? What are your thoughts? Did you retire these? That's a good idea too. If you got new plastics, some of the old metal ones could take a place of honor in a display case since they're so much more prone to chipping. That's one negative to metal, and they're heavy and they can break. These are a lot more durable, less likely to chip. They do have mold lines and they're not perfect, but the shortcomings for the metal are not the same as the plastics. So what have you done with them? What are your thoughts? Share in the comments below as to what you like. Do you have any cool stories, cool pictures? Share those stories in the Instagram links with us as well. Let's get a conversation started and check out your mix. That being said, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for allowing me to ramble just a little bit about something I'm passionate about with you, all things Battletech. But with that being said, it's time to go. Thanks again for hanging out. As always, keep painting those models, keep rolling those dice, and I'll catch you next time.